You feel a little more winded than you used to. You get a blood pressure reading that's just a bit higher. Your doctor says to keep an eye on things, and you accept it. This is just normal for your age, right? A slow, quiet decline you are supposed to manage. That's the dangerous thought. That resignation, because underneath it is a cold, specific fear that one day your heart just stops keeping up. The assumption is that once things start to harden and creep up, the process is locked in. It's a genetic lottery or a condition you medicate after the fact. That assumption is a trap. It lets the real, reversible causes of heart disease march forward in silence. Right now, today, here is the reframe. Your cardiovascular health is not a passive sentence. It is a system, a mechanical, biological system with specific points of failure. And you can fix them. By the end of this, you will know the 5 daily levers to pull, not vague advice. 5 physiological targets you can actively rehabilitate to reverse early damage and slash your real risk. This shifts the question from passive fear to active strategy. What are the specific reversible mechanisms you need to target? Let's start with the fire. The silent one burning inside your arteries right now. Chronic inflammation. This is his swollen ankle. This is a low-grade systemic fire. The primary instigator. It damages the lining of your blood vessels, the endothelium. That's the first step. The spark that starts the plaque forming. Decades of diet, stress, and stillness feed this fire. The biggest dietary culprits? Refined sugars. Industrial seed oils like soybean and corn oil. They ruin everything. Processed meats. They pour gasoline on the flames. You need the antidote. Fatty fish for omega-3s. Extra virgin olive oil. Deeply colored berries. These are your fire extinguishers. And you can measure this. A blood marker called CRP, C-reactive protein, can drop within weeks of changing what you eat. The surprise? Common so-called heart-healthy foods are often the problem. Whole wheat bread loaded with inflammatory oils. Commercial salad dressings, they are hidden sources of the very thing that's setting the stage for a crisis. This is the revelation. The root cause you've likely been treating with Band-Aids. Put out the fire first. Everything else builds from there. Now we move from the fire to the pipes. Arterial stiffness. Your plumbing problem. Arteries are supposed to be flexible, elastic. They expand with each heartbeat, easing the pressure, delivering life. With age, they lose some of that. Collagen cross-links. Calcium can settle in the wrong places. But here's the key. This process is dramatically accelerated by the inflammation fire and by high blood pressure. It's a feedback loop of damage. Stiff pipes force your heart to pump harder. That higher pressure further damages the pipes. You feel it as hypertension, as poor circulation, cold hands, tired legs. But the surprise is the brain fog, the fatigue you blame on aging. Stiff arteries directly reduce blood flow to your brain and muscles. Long before any event, you were running on half power. This is a mechanical issue. And you have tools. 2 critical nutrients. Magnesium. It relaxes the smooth muscle in your artery walls. Think of it as a physical loosening agent. And vitamin K2. It's the traffic director. It shuttles calcium away from your arteries and into your bones where it belongs. Find it in fermented foods, hard cheeses. Then there's breathing. Not just any breathing, sustained, deep nasal breathing for 5 to 10 minutes a day. This is tea meditation fluff. This is nitric oxide production, a potent vasodilator made in your sinuses. You are literally using your nose to signal your arteries to relax, and you must break the sitting. Prolonged sitting impairs blood flow and endothelial function for hours. Set a timer. Get up. Your pipes need the movement. This is the fixable system. You are not just managing a number. You are restoring a physical property. Flexibility. Now, let's talk about your engine's idle, your resting heart rate, that number when you are completely still. If it's consistently above 75, maybe 80, that's an independent risk factor. It means your autonomic nervous system is stressed. Your heart muscle is inefficient, working too hard just to keep the lights on. Measure it right. First thing in the morning, before coffee, before you even get out of bed. That's your true idle. To lower it, you don't need to kill yourself with intense cardio. In fact, that can backfire. You need consistent, moderate zone 2 training where you can hold a conversation. A brisk walk, a slow bike ride, or 30+ minutes, 3 or 4 times a week. This trains efficiency. And sleep. Poor sleep quality, especially a lack of deep sleep, guarantees a higher resting heart rate the next day. Your heart never gets the repair shift. Here's the empowering metric. For every 10 beat reduction in your resting heart rate, studies show a significant drop in overall cardiac risk. You have a dial you can turn. Now, the silent force you know but misunderstand. Blood pressure dynamics. After 55, the most common form is isolated systolic hypertension. High top number, normal bottom number, caused primarily by those stiff arteries, and it's a stronger predictor of stroke than combined hypertension. The critical pattern is the dipper. Your pressure should drop by at least 10% during sleep. If it does, if you are a non-dipper, that's a major red flag. Your body is getting the reset it needs. Countermeasures. Potassium, avocado, spinach, potatoes. It directly counterbalances sodium's effects. And the 30-minute rule. A 30-minute walk after a meal is more effective at blunting the post-meal blood pressure spike than a walk any other time. Do it. The surprise? For most people, excessive sodium is heat from the salt shaker. It's from bread, canned soups, processed cheese. Cutting those has a faster impact than banishing your shaker. This is urgent but controlled. You know the killer's name. Now you know its specific mechanics. And you have the countermeasures. Finally, the fifth lever. Lipid balance. This cuts through the cholesterol panic. The ratio of your triglycerides to your HDL cholesterol is far more predictive than total cholesterol or LDL alone. It reflects how your body actually handles sugar and fat. A bad ratio means your metabolism is clogged. Sugar is turning into fat in your bloodstream, actions that worsen it. Frequent snacking. That keeps insulin elevated, telling your liver to make more triglycerides. High fructose intake from sugary drinks and desserts. Excessive alcohol. They all feed the machine. Actions that improve it. Daily soluble fiber. Psyllium, oats, beans. It binds to bile acids, pulls cholesterol out. Fatty fish, 2 or 3 times a week. And time-restricted eating, a simple 12-hour window where you don't eat. It gives your insulin a break, lets your body clear the fat from your blood. The surprise? You can have normal total cholesterol, but a dangerous high triglyceride to HDL ratio. That's more risky than elevated cholesterol with a good ratio. Focusing solely on lowering LDL with medication can miss this root metabolic issue entirely. This is the clarifying metric, the final piece. So let's pull it all together. You started with a vague fear of an inevitable condition, a monolithic thing called heart disease. You now see it as a system. 5 distinct, modifiable levers: the inflammation fire, the plumbing problem of arterial stiffness, your engine's idle, resting heart rate, the silent force of blood pressure dynamics, and the clarifying metric of lipid balance. The shift is complete. From passive patient awaiting decline to active mechanic with a specific checklist. Your heart's health is not a fixed diagnosis. It's a daily physiology project. By targeting these levers, you are not just managing risk. You are actively rehabilitating the system, resetting its resilience. That feeling of being winded, that higher reading, that doctor's vague warning, those weren't sentences. They were signals, direct calls from these 5 levers. Likely inflammation, stiffness, a high resting heart rate. And now you know they are a call to specific effective action, not a life sentence, a project plan. To make tracking the silent force easier, a simple home blood pressure monitor is the tool. Consistent, accurate feedback. I will link the type most cardiologists recommend for home use in the description below. It turns anxiety into data, into progress. You have the map now. The overwhelming problem is broken down, manageable, actionable. Replace the quiet resignation with quiet confidence. You are not helpless. You are ready.